another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, exploding beers all over him. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
Things like the fountains de Bellagio, just all over me.
What happened to you last week? You won and then another one? And what are you doing?
I assumed the other one, I thought it was a one-off.
You're right. That's not bad. I've seen that. I forget what movie that was where somebody goes around and they stick like anthrax and different things at the supermarket. That's terrible. What I don't hate is if next time you're at the beer store, you just go to a random six packs and just shake the hell up of one of them and be like,
it's not bad. How long is that? If it's capped, it must last forever. It's going to happen for like months later, right? Days, hours. I don't know how long does it last.
I did see a prank online.
Off, you fucking animal.
We're going to count them.
Fine.
What you can do is you can take, if you take cold water and freeze it, it gets that like kind of white crackly thing in the middle. But if you boil water and pour it into an ice cube tray and put it in the freezer, you will have clear ice the whole time.
Yes,
cool.
I actually didn't know that.
Most people, they just put cold water in. Great
right.
Prank. I meant to bring this up weeks ago. Put a Mentos in there and just drop it in there and then have people have soda. You're welcome.
So that's pretty good. Speaking of mint in the wrong place, similar, but now that won't explode. Zoe made Thanksgiving cupcakes one year, and they were quite good. They were frosted. They had a little pretzel for the turkey tail, salty and stuff. And they had these two little white things, and I thought they were like nonpareils or sugar. Tic Tacs. I bit right in to a Tic Tac cupcake. It was awful. It wasn't even just bad. It was like so surprising. Like you can't prepare for that. Tic Tacs just embedded in.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. Zach, you doubted me. I've been talking up an episode that we have a great episode. You're like, you got nothing. It's a special one. You got nothing. Zachy, I got a good one today, buddy.
Got a good one, huh?
But before we get into today's episode, Zach Elias, why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking?
Nip slip, we're doing it right away, or doing my beer as well? For the beer, it's Dykeman. Great, buckle up. I hope it doesn't explode on me again.
But the nip slip today, explain to everybody in case they've missed the episode or if this is their first time tuning in, what exactly is a nip slip on this show?
Your tip pops out. But in this show, it's when the Ravens win and the Jets lose in no time. I, or the other one, if Jets ever win, but they won't, has to drink a nip. Or an airplane bottle. Nips is what they're called. And I could pick whatever nip I want. And I went into the nip store yesterday and talked to the nip gentleman provider. And I explained to him why I was doing this. And now, by the way, I bought two, knowing that I don't want to have to keep going to the store. And this is going to be... So I bought one that I thought was just sort of classy, a little charming, an interesting nip. And I also bought one that I did no research on because the bottle made me laugh. And then I looked at it. It is a little 49.5% alcohol. And then you go, liqueur is 35%. Liquor is 40. I go, yeah, well, this one's 49. Then I realized why it's called what it's called. Tonight, I shall be drinking 99 bananas. 99 bananas.
That's actually delicious. Have you ever had it?
I have no idea. I assume it's banana
good.
flavored. I felt charming. But it is also 99 proof. It's not 99 bananas for no real reason.
I actually didn't know that. I thought it was just a cute name.
No shit. I just learned about it. There's not a lot of other chit chat.
So then wouldn't it be 48.5 proof?
49.5. So maybe
is my math off? 49.5. Whoops.
You're doing dosages for people? Well.
All right. Well, before we
hold on, it's welded on. What the
Zach,
hell?
I was telling you this before. Oh my God.
Go. Explain. I'm trying to
open my beer, I picked purely based on the label, and then I realized it might be the perfect beer. From the Duclaw Brewing Company. It's a special episode, so we're doing a Baltimore beer. It's called Give A, and take a look at the logo.
Give it, pretty good.
But it's actually Give A number 2, because this is episode 200. And I was saying it's sponsored by Squatty Potty, which is even better. It has that on here. And it's 6.5% alcohol, fruited sour with blueberry, black currant, vanilla bean, and lactose. This sounds horrendously bad.
Yeah, well, I'll see you in the future.
Release the Kraken.
Ooh. Oh my God. That's like banana
Cheers.
bubblegum and fire water.
What is your plan for next week if the Ravens win and the Jets lose? Because we have a bet on that. Are you doing bang bang or how's that going to work? You got 2 in an episode.
Why do I have 2 in an episode?
Next week is the Hackett Bowl.
What was that about?
I have the Broncos, you have the Jets, and then we also have the Jets and Ravens. I can go back. It's in the previous episodes.
I heard about it on a podcast. I guess I go boom boom.
Boom boom.
But never that again, because that was really bad. Like, I'm not sure where to begin. It's super sweet. It's got a little kick of banana. It's also got just pure fire alcohol, and it's all just a melange in my mouth. It's like a party in the mouth and everyone's invited.
I think beers can be very similar. I would go ahead and say when there's flavors in liquors or liquors even, I could definitely taste the difference.
I don't even taste this. Like, it's
nothing.
Just,
your taste buds are done.
What?
Your taste buds are all gone.
They're gone.
Zach, we're doing a fun one tonight. Calling this one episode 200.
Pretty good.
Our promo online,
like Schindler's List.
Our promo online was Ride or High.
Pretty good.
It made me laugh.
I didn't see that.
I just put it up. I did it like when you're busy rambling about Lord knows what.
I want to do that.
So Zach, I found this out when I went to Philly about a month ago. I guess I've never really paid attention. And when you're watching Netflix, generally I don't read the descriptions. And I certainly don't let it get to like the screensaver screen ever. But if you ever sat there and read some of these things, what Netflix came up with, and apparently this is old, I just caught on, it's what they called oddly specific descriptors. So they're really good too. Like if you look at a show, it'll say, intriguing, drama, laugh. It gives you 3 adjectives that help describe a show.
So it's almost like a haiku for the show.
Well, they do these for everything on Netflix, and it's very interesting, and I assume that's how the algorithm works. So it is kind of fun to, I let the screensaver go. The amount of times I'm watching Netflix, hit pause because my roommate's son starts crying, and I'm like, all right, let me just hold him, and you have to kill everything. And next they're going through that. I'm reading them. They're kind of funny.
Does he cry?
I do a lot of promo for this show. And do you know what I usually pick? I'll just tell everybody. Hashtag comedy, hashtag funny, hashtag podcast or podcasts. I got nothing else. Now, is that being gratuitous? I don't know. So I'm curious if you had to hashtag this or use Netflix oddly specific descriptors, give me 3 things you would say for this show.
For this show, I would say sports comedy Jew boys.
Okay. Very good. So what I decided to do for today's episode, without telling you, because that's how we roll, was I have answers from our most loyal listeners, and I'm going to tell you who they are and what they said. You ready?
Seattle Josh, let's go.
Eat the Rat said,
sucks.
Curmudgeonly, quote, specific to Zach.
What an asshole. He can eat a bag of dicks. I want his number.
Witty and humorous. Those were his 3 descriptors.
Were those also me or just curmudgeonly?
Just curmudgeonly. But
what a tool.
Shoe fits. Big Mike. Informative, controversial, humorous.
Scintillating as always.
I actually responded with
fantastic.
Informative. I was touched that I said informative. He goes, yeah. Instead of me having to scroll the internet, you just give me the top 10 ridiculous things that happened that week. It's actually pretty good.
He's not wrong.
Ya boy Erich says, loud, Jewy humor.
Yeah, because he's so quiet and Catholic. Or funny.
Chicago Seth, Mr. I Need a Glass for his ghosts, says, Semitic, comedy adjacent, spunky.
I take offense to comedy adjacent. It's comedy. We're not next to comedy. We're not hanging out outside the comedy store. Qualify your answer. Show me your work.
I think it's more of an inside joke we can get to, but I liked it. The fact that the first 2 answers were humorous, I was like, okay. Now, I decided to hit up your wife, who says, amusing, entertaining, lively.
That's so just brush off. Oh, yeah, I find them to be lively. They're amusing.
And I gave most of these people the option, but I said to her that if she wants, she can go ahead and She has something she wants to say.
Oh.
Happy 200th episode.
Thank you. It was very amusing.
I gave her up to 3 minutes. Up to 30 seconds to say whatever she wanted. Her and your daughter, who it looks like she needs a cheeseburger, by the way.
She's too small?
She's adorable. She's a really cute kid.
Okay. Yeah.
Ron Katz says,
here we go. Now we're talking.
Funny, quirky, unpredictable.
Like it.
I thought
they keep tuning in because of the unpredictability. It's better than comedy adjacent, that asshole.
It might be the best one. I was like, okay, I don't hate that.
I'll tell you what,
Ron Katz.
Amusing.
Ron Katz also with the video entry.
Oh, God.
Quirky, jerky, hippopotamus.
Let's go back.
From
Ready?
pieces and cables to quirky, jerky, hippopotamus, whatever. BYD is more fun than a destination wedding in Cancun. And hey, we did that too.
We did that too.
Congratulations on your 200th episode, Alan. Congratulations, to Zach too. Because where would we be without Zach falling off the deep end? Keep saying things that are going to get you kicked off the internet. That's what we depend on you for. You keep talking, I'll keep listening.
Oh,
I
what a
liked
guy.
it. And thank you for filming it on your Motorola StarTAC.
I actually had to convert his whatever he filmed it with. It would not upload. I had to do a conversion. Good thing I knew how to do that.
Was it an MP1?
No, it's like a 3K something to a MOV. It got real weird.
It was filmed on those ikegamis that goes over your shoulder.
From the Washington Samandas, she says, funny, quirky, NJBs. And then she went ahead and explained what it was like I didn't know. I was like, okay, I'm good there, sweetheart.
Nice Jamaican boys.
The queen of Staten Island.
I like her.
It's funny because she said she wanted to say snarky stuff, but this is what she went with to be nice. Smart alecky, dysfunctional, and she used brackets, not parentheses, for oddly comforting.
That's the kind of schooling they got there in Staten Island.
Who uses brackets and not parentheses for that? Like, what is that about?
The Staten Islanders. They don't know.
Seattle Josh, who is a loyal listener, and I think his ribs are going okay, says
Hello.
Schlemiel and Schlemazel.
Which one is which?
I'll get back to you in episode 201.
Okay.
We have Dallas Josh, who said, I can pick which one of these I want to use. First one was needs more Dezube, which I will respect. So when I see his sister next, I will invite her on the show, or his mom, who is delightful, Gail. Love me some Gail. The other one was funny, whiny, juvenile.
Was it Jew Venile? I know. That's a band name right there.
We should start a band. We should definitely start a band.
Juvenile.
Juvenile. That has to exist, right?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Like
It's
the
gotta
pentatonics.
Not that good.
Little Mike, witty, informative, Jewy.
Oh, yeah, because he's so goyishy.
Joe Babe. Ready for these SAT words? Contemplative, schlemiel, critiques.
It's pretty good.
And when you're ready, Joe Babe has a video for us. Are you ready?
Amazing.
I am.
All right, let me go back.
Nice
Here we go.
hat.
Shh, don't talk.
I'm talking.
Wow, 200 episodes. That's amazing. Oh, that's 100 hours of time spent listening to Booze Your Daddy. I've got to reassess my priorities. Love you guys. Thanks for the laughs.
There we go.
Look
A lot of
at her
energy.
eyes. It looks like she's reading cue cards.
I think it's how she looks.
I don't know. Each eye's in business for itself.
And
I love her.
my roommate decided to go with
Did your kid give a video?
raunchy comedy Pishadoo, which I thought that was a really, really bad answer, but
It's not
was what it
great.
was.
Why are we raunchy? We're not raunchy. We're telling it like it is. You don't get
right.
bawdy.
I gave her this morning, and she went ahead and made a video
this morning. And
Zach, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mute each other so we don't ruin this because the audio is not great. So unless you promise to not talk,
I can't.
you can't. Okay, so let me see. I might just have to remove you then.
All right. I won't talk. I'll behave.
All righty. Let's go ahead to the next one. Ready? It's long. That's what she said. Ready?
Boom! and we are off with another episode of Who's Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. McPoopy. Here we are with my girl, Lady Gaga.
Woof.
Tuesdays we do it live, Saturdays we post it later. This is our very first episode. Before we get into it, Lady Gaga, why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking?
From the back of the fridge brewery, I have here a purple monkey dishwasher. It's a chocolate peanut butter porter, so I will be sick later.
Nice, nice.
Like I am. What are you drinking?
From the Muggy Brewing Company, I have warm breast milk.
Gross.
Lady Gaga, release the Kraken. This is a quick episode, so lady, what you watching?
There's this groundhog in the backyard. It has a death wish, but it's gonna be a whole to-do.
My dada has me watching Orioles highlights. Go O's. Pishadoo of the week. Lady, I have two candidates. Candidate number 1, the New York Jets. The only way they have any viewership is if Taylor Swift goes to their games. Candidate number 2, my dada keeps showing me barbecue videos and I can't eat it. I have no teeth. The New York Jets just because, or my dada.
Both equally as bad. I have to go with Allison.
She wasn't even a candidate.
She's probably going full-blown Allison.
We're in a new month. Do you have any Kilty Pleasures?
Look at that beefcake.
Care for some Lucky Charms? Who's Your Daddy, the podcast? Thanks for listening.
Woof.
We out. Happy 200, Dada.
All right. That
Is he
wasn't
taking a
terrible.
shit? No, he's thinking real hard.
I say that all the time. She has no idea. No idea.
By the way, the highlight, L'chaim, on the Robo voice. It was good.
Oh, it's cute. Cute kid, eh? Am I right?
It was amusing. It was comedy adjacent. Yes, the kid was cute. Didn't care for the dog so much.
Full-blown Allison. Good every time.
It is good every time.
Super
Is she the
cute.
only offer so far of the show's history?
Oh my! I mean, there were weeks I got real lucky.
You get lucky,
real
but she went over.
Hey Zach, feeling jerky? Want to eat some quirky?
Well, yeah, sure. Why not? I'm eating it all. Oh, by the way, juvenile is like an Urban Dictionary thing, but it's not like a band or a rapper or anything like that. None of that.
That was why you stopped paying attention to do
Yes.
that.
Oh, because I had to watch that genius 40-minute video.
It's 2 minutes.
It's gonna get best short picture probably.
By the way, that video was the most inside comedy ever. Like,
So
if
you
you don't
can-
watch,
Go on, yeah.
nah, guys, it.
Hey, I asked for some quirky. It was inside baseball. So the Empire State Building, is this on your list? They
Don't
got
know.
in trouble recently.
Somebody jump.
No, that should be they don't pick the colors. Somebody requests them, and then apparently you can buy them or petition them for it. It's not just like a guy who lights it up. So apparently, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl,
We did this.
Right, they did green and white. Apparently, the Empire State Building rejected a request for the colors of childhood cancer. Rejected it, but they did fucking Rothman's Eagles.
The Eagles haven't won the Super Bowl since we've been doing this show.
Right.
Or-
And there's been childhood cancer, so light the thing up.
When is the NFL going to be pink? They were just not enough pink this past weekend.
I don't know whether they're going to be pink. I saw Taylor Swift from afar. Was that pink enough? Or she does. Anyway, sticking in Philadelphia with you. Is that a cough? Is that COVID? You've hit the COVID.
I didn't hear anything.
1-1. Sticking with the Eagles for 200 or Philly for 200. Bryce Harper chucking his helmet into the crowd
good.
was incredible. The kid wearing it.
Wait, chucking is generous. It was a nice toss. Him
How'd you go
running
over the
down.
net.
That's the better part of it. But did you see the thing that got him kicked out?
Oh yeah, and he went wild.
You know it's Angel Hernandez, who was the check swing to throw him out of the game.
Is he
Where
even an umpire anymore? Is he just an agitator for hire? Like, what is his real role? Like,
he'll be doing a playoff game in the next era.
imminently. Hopefully, it's your shit team.
We got Texas on Saturday.
Yeah, enjoy. You're not a big golf guy, but Patrick Cantlay not wearing a hat because they don't pay him. What an asshole! You should at least be an America guy. I mean, come on. Just a hat
You
with
wouldn't wear
flame.
America's not paying him?
No one was paying.
Maybe-
He never paid for the Ryder Cup, so he wouldn't wear a hat. He went out hatless. He looked like a chooch on the local muni. But then because he played really well, half the team didn't wear hats the next day. They got smoked, by the way, by Europe. But
So did we win?
hat. No, we got killed. It's the Ryder Cup in Europe. We never win. But like, it's like Kramer with the AIDS service. Just wear the fucking hat, guy. Just Apollo Creed died for this. Come on, man. Fuck him.
Still alive.
What? Yeah. So I got a text the other day from Jenna's idiot friend Lauren. How often do I think about the Roman Empire? And I go, I don't know, as much as the next guy.
I heard this. This was a TikTok or something. I
It
think
was on
I've
like
heard
the
this.
news, like the real news, like NBC. That apparently
Yeah.
men think about the Roman Empire all the time, like weekly. They got some guy goes like, I don't know, like 4 times a month, and she goes, so like once a week. Not even close. I don't know.
That's
like,
not how that works. If I talk about it twice a day because I'm retelling a story, I'm not getting hit for two times in the.
It counts. Are you not entertained? Some night callers would call me Zaximus, which I thought was incredibly funny. But nevertheless,
4 times a month. I don't.
Roman Empire? Why the hell do I give a shit about them?
The empire itself, not so much. But does Italy and Rome and pizza and
No,
300?
the Roman Empire, like like sword and
No.
sandals, the whole bit.
No. Sword
No.
in the Stone.
No, sword and sandals. That's what they fought with.
SPQR.
Exactly. Okay. I was at that fakakta Taylor Swift Jet game where you could say the refs hosed the Jets, and they probably did with some bad calls. I have problems with ineligible receiver, illegal man downfield, not being able to do George did the deep dive on the flip for the football. These are arbitrary rules. If you show up on the field, you should be able to go wherever you want. Do it.
Yeah.
If you want to throw it to the fat white guy whose number starts with a 6, enjoy. If he should be able to run as fast as anybody, go nuts. Flip the ball. They're just making rules to make the white guys, the fat guys, not as prevalent.
When did they start wearing like number 4? When number they could wear any number they want.
Now you can, but like it used to be like whatever was left, like number 64. It's a quadruple XL. Throw this on, guy. Fat guy from Iowa.
It is one of the more ridiculous. Baseball attendance and happiness and everything is up big from these rule changes. Football needs to do a couple. I agree with you.
Eligible man downfield. If you want to throw it to the center and let him rumble, go have at it. That's the play you call. That's the play you call. Now I got trolled at work with a girl. And apparently now it's a thing. So on Monday, when someone found out I went to the game, she goes something about like, oh, did you know that like Travis Kelce was a big thing beforehand? I go, what? She goes, yeah, he was like a good player. I go, yeah, I'm aware he was a good player. I go, he won 2 Super Bowls. He won that. She goes, I'm fucking with you. I go, what? She goes, it's a thing girls do now. They troll guys,
It's like
mansplaining
reverse type of deal.
Yeah, and she took the hook completely. I gave his life story down to like, I don't know fantasy football, and like she goes, oh, he was a thing before Taylor Swift, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. I went 0 to 10,000 immediately. We were off to the races.
Do you know who you sounded like?
Shit, that was 2-1. 2-1.
Do you know who you sound like? Did you ever watch Viva La Bam back in the day? Do you remember his uncle,
Viva
like Don?
La Bam?
Did you not watch the Bam Margera show in high school?
No, I've never heard of the Bam Margera. I know who he is. I've never heard of his show.
Oh, he had a show with his father, the mother. And he had an uncle who had 1.5 eyes. I mean, it was great. And every time this fat fuck used to get exasperated, he'd be like,
I went nuts. And like, she was sitting there, dead stone face. She goes, I'm just trolling you. I'm like, what? It's a thing girls have started doing to guys. You bought right in. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know why I don't hate it?
But she slow played me. She has to see, like, do you have pictures of the game? Do you have pictures of Taylor Swift? Which I do. There's like a picture of her and a blurry Ryan Reynolds in his little bowling shirt, and like, cool. I don't know why I took those.
Blake Lively in the middle too.
She
I did not
somewhere, but like you and Eric, your boy, wanted to see them. Anyway,
do you not do this? I had a patient the other day that was his daughter was going on and on about OnlyFans and Feet Finder, and I had to play dumb. 1 for professional, but 2 because it's really funny. And she got pretty like, you're telling me you don't know it? I'm like, I guess feet are okay. And she lost her mind that I didn't know this. And meanwhile, I'm just like, of course I do it. Respect. Check to the razor, buddy.
No, she got me. It's rare that people troll me. I'm usually more of the troll. It's pretty good. But apparently it's a thing that people have been doing to guys and torturing them. And my reaction is pretty standard, just going absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah, you just did literally Uncle Vito. Well, I'm going to send you a video, and then you're going to hear this back. And you're like, that's exactly what I sounded like.
Pirates. Real pirates.
Are in San Francisco.
Yeah, you got this one?
No, I saw it.
Real pirates are tormenting and wreaking havoc on houseboats and yachts in San Francisco Bay. And Bay sounds off of incidents of piracy skyrocketing by marauders pillaging and plundering from their watercrafts.
I love it.
Can't beat it. And are you familiar with tennis superstar Mark Polmans?
Yeah, he's the president in Independence Day.
He might be, but apparently in the Zhuhai Championship, or sorry, the Shanghai Masters, one of these, no, Asian, Shanghai Masters, he was winning 7-6 in the first set. He won. Next set, 6-6. He hits a bad shot. Out of frustration, he goes to just smack the ball as far as he can to the crowd, except he hits it a little bit of a low line drive, hits the chair referee right in the face.
Bye-bye.
Match over. Thanks for coming. Get home safe. The guy gets it's like Kennedy. Back and to the left. He just goes down. He's about 8 feet from him, maybe. He hits. It's like watching the American Gladiators.
How much damage do you think you could do 8 feet away? Like, do you leave a welt?
I don't know. It bounces pretty good. No, the American Gladiators are shooting that thing 100 miles an hour, and they were pretty close to put some
40 miles an hour. It wasn't.
They said 100 in the show.
Nah, I watched 2 documentaries. It wasn't 100.
Things at home. Nevertheless, I don't know, man. But at least you knew that was coming. You had some gear. You were ready for it. This guy is just at work. You're just getting at work. So you a tennis ball 100 miles an hour at your face.
It was the quarters, you said?
It didn't say, but the match was. Yeah, it was the quarters. How'd you know this?
I thought you said it.
Maybe I did.
Couldn't care less
no, it was a qualifier. I'm sorry, the qualifier match. Court 4. Nevertheless, to get home safe, that ends your night real quick. And like the Djokovic one where he hit someone in the throat, was from a mile away. She had all day to react. That was like, the Austin Powers scene. This was at point blank range. Just cranked him.
Can you send me that video when we're done?
Yes.
It sounds really good.
It was pretty
Can
good.
we skip what you're watching? Do you have anything really good?
Aaron Carter. Pretty good.
Oh, I told you it was you.
I know, it's fun. I like it.
It looks terrible. I'm watching it. It looks like a shoot 'em up.
Oh, you
Zach,
yeah, it's good.
I got a decent Hip Hop Anonymous for this week. This might just be more me putting my foot in my mouth. I have a patient who we're talking about life with my son and different things, and she turns to me and says, and mind you, she's older. She goes, I grew up with 6 siblings. She goes, my mother had 1 arm. And I do this like, okay, because you're always holding the baby type of thing. I look at her, I go, look, I know your mother had 1 arm, but she could have put the kids down. It's not the end of the world. She says, no, my mother had polio. She had 1 arm. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
It's not good.
I thought she was making a metaphor, man.
It's not good.
Nishkit. Pishadoo of the week. I have a lot of candidates. It was a long week. Zach, it's a lot. Let's start with, I thought this was going to be, you were going to sink my submarine today or maybe yesterday. Some team, I think it's a track and field event from South Korea, was winning a race, decides to showboat, loses to Taiwan by 0.01 seconds. They don't win the race. These runners from South Korea now have to serve in the army where they would have been exempt if they would have won the race.
You have more candidates after that. That's amazing. How long is the term?
2 years, 3 maybe,
That's a
but still.
time.
I'm aware that there's a really good UFC fighter, the Korean Zombie, who used to come out to the Cranberry Zombie, which is fantastic. He actually took 2 years off in the middle of his career. Next one, the Navy SEALs are cracking down on people taking steroids. If there was anybody in this country I want taking all the steroids,
jacked up.
I want them to have muscles growing out of their ears.
I want them to look like the Ultimate Warrior or Bolo Yang. Who, by the way, he gets a lot of play on this. What? Bolo Yang. The guy from the 80s that pecs up to here. The bad guy in Bloodsport.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard this. I was like, why are we doing this? I want the guys showing
What
up
do you
like,
care? I want performance enhancing. Let them take it all. Andro, HGH.
I want the Navy SEALs to have such tight grips that they show up with grenades without the pin in it. Like, they're not letting go. It doesn't matter. It's Adrian Peterson in a football. Next candidate, Matt Ryan, who probably is going to go down for being most famous for the guy who had the massive lead in the Super Bowl with a great offensive coordinator. He was MVP that year. Now he's a commentator for sports, doing
Not for
football.
the Jets. He told them no already.
This past week, he was commentating the Bears-Broncos game. And when the Bears were up 28-7, made the comment, well, this game's over. No way anybody comes back from this. It's just great because 28-3 is probably even worse, and that's what he lost.
What a tool.
Simone Biles making the news because she, there's an Olympics coming up, so she has to go get all her monies again. Do you know what they had named? I didn't know this. Remember when she got all anxiety-ish? Do you know that's called getting the twisties? Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, she performed a double blah, blah, blah. I think it was called like a romance.
Whatever they call it, yeah.
It was a romansky or a something. Well, nobody has ever done a double Romanowski in international competition that now it gets renamed the Simone Biles. I thought that's ridiculous. Why not just call it the double Romanowski?
It's a double Romanowski. I don't think she should get anything until she wins something.
Well, she's winning all these qualifiers, and apparently there's like the fifth.
Cool. And so that guy who got hit with a tennis ball lost a qualifier too. Go win me a medal. On your own, not with the rest. Yeah, like go do it. Because she quit on her team, which is my biggest problem with the twisties. No good? I'm wrong? Or I'm just taking grenades alone here?
I'm going to let you stand on that hill doing steroids by yourself.
Son of a bitch.
I brought this up forever ago. I thought it was ridiculous of all the endorsements. She was on a Wheaties box.
You're the captain. If you're the fifth lead, fine, bounce. You're the captain of that thing. Go down with the ship. I hate the guy to death. Derek Jeter doesn't do that to his team.
Speaking of fifth leads, Colin had David Spade on last week because David Spade's promoting that snake oil show now.
It's awful and amazing at the same time.
Do you know that when he signed on to do Just Shoot Me, he was the fifth lead?
Yeah.
Do you remember that show? I was like, yes.
Wendy Malick, George Siegel, Laura San Giacomo with tits, the bald guy who was mildly funny, and then him.
Zach, that was the David Spade show. I don't remember.
No. George Siegel was great in it, and Wendy Malick could use a vehicle.
Next candidate.
I'm sure I said only celebrity I ever really got into it with was David Spade.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I got into it with him in a pizza place in the mid-90s.
Next week, hold this. There is a college in Belgium that is now offering something called Swiftliture that you can study the writings of your girl, Tay-Tay. Also, I thought he made this up. This is a little bit of a tush-push scenario, but Chicago Seth texted me Swelsey, and I said, I haven't heard that yet. I Googled it. You've heard it? It's online, which means it's just a common thread of thought type of thing. But Swelsey, I thought was pretty good. But studying Swiftliture, like, come on. She's just writing sad songs about boyfriends. I thought that was really stupid.
Yeah.
This next one has a two-parter. The news I listen to sometimes is read by a British person, and they start this off with 0.6, and then they continue a sentence. I had to rewind it 3 times. I was like, the fuck are they saying? Okay, I hate to be a southerner, if you will, but in my goddamn country, say 0. I don't want to hear you say not, and I have to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
How about nil?
Just as bad.
You were so mad at me that day when I said it was 0-0. It's like you blew up my phone.
So Netflix, who had a 0.6% of the hard DVD red envelope mails, whatever, has officially folded that whole thing.
Yeah, they got their last one back, I think.
Yeah, cool. Whoever's still doing that, the 0.6 of their business, what an asshole. That's the real Pishadoo.
For real, I'm telling you said that.
Grammy?
She gets like foreign French films in the red thing. I'm telling. It's like Bad Boys 2. I'm telling Mom. I'm definitely leaking that shit.
Next one, Trevor Bauer, who lost his professional career for everything that happened with him and the lawsuits and the allegations. And do you know that both women who had sexual allegations against him have dropped their lawsuits and settled out of court with zero money taking place. I hate to be the
take him right now.
Hashtag him too. I think there should be just as big of a penalty for people who lie and make this stuff up.
Guys, got a cannon. Pitcher's mound to over the fence. What a throw.
Got me there. It does.
What a throw. I know a team not too far away that would take him right now today. Orange and blue, he'd look great.
The New York Knicks?
Yeah, they take him too.
This next one just tickles me because people don't realize 200 episodes, bringing it every single time.
By the way, him too is what's going to be the thing that gets us canceled. That's it. That's the thing. Thank you, Anita.
The fact that they had everybody have podcasts, Meghan Markle, Emrata, they're all fired. They're all losing their podcasts. Granted, they were giving money and not doing it. Do people realize how fucking hard this is and how great we are?
The best. Juvenile.
Right?
Yeah.
I was going to talk about this on my What You Watching, but it really is really good for Pishadoo. This past week's of Bachelor in Paradise, which I have to watch.
Golden?
There was
the old guy?
No, the other one. It's where they bring all the.
Are you watching Loose Skin and Old Balls?
Yeah, it's on tomorrow. It actually wasn't horrible. The worst part was when they bring like some of them out. I'm going, okay. And then the next one, I'm going, oh my God, she's disgusting. She's old. Julia's like, they're all old. I was like, oh, the last one was fucking, she was terrible. But this past week,
would with all of them.
They have a cute little date where they put like a table on an elevated part of a pool. So they take off their shoes, they walk in, it's really cool looking. The guy who lets the woman sit down and then goes to walk around falls into 6 feet of water in the date. It was great, but only second to my favorite, somebody absolutely thinking they're smart and getting a word wrong. There's a girl there who looks like Cindy Crawford adjacent.
Mom?
Daughter, she's sitting there and they hear bugs doing like crickets, and she goes, oh, I know what those are the Canadians. The guy's like, the what? She's like, Canadians. And it's written on the TV like Canadians with an S in front of it. I'm just going like, oh my God, these people are really good. Next one, I didn't see the Robin Hood original movie. I think it's one with Kevin Costner, but apparently there's a famous
Wait, you mean the one with Errol Flynn, the black and white one? It's fabulous.
No, the one with
me
Costner.
Me and Ron Katz have seen it, and no one else has. The Errol Flynn one, top notch. The Costner one is okay, but the best Robin Hood of all time, the Disney one with the fox, chef's kiss. Watched a lot of that as a unloved child divorce.
Cool. There's a famous tree in this Robin Hood movie. Some 16-year-old kid cut it down this past week.
What a dick! With a sword? Like, did he do it right?
It probably used a grenade or something. I have no idea.
They colorized the Errol Flynn one. I thought it was black and white to begin with. But it is great.
Next one. Did you hear that there's some sea lions that got out from the Central Park Zoo from the flooding last week? They escaped? Sea lions!
Because the floodwaters and they're out? Now
I have no idea.
Roaming Queens?
No.
Or the Bronx?
Well, they're not going to make it up to the heights.
They came for a good time?
Not here for a long time, here for a good time.
Exactly.
And last candidate.
One stunk, Julia.
I'll cut a couple of these.
Men in Tights. Men in Tights is where it's at.
I'm on the east side. I'm on the west side. A Jew. A Jew. And
that
this
joke
last
was
one.
A lot when Jen and I went to England.
I may be getting taken here because I saw that. I saw people comment a picture of this. I did some research and I did find places that do this. You know how there's New York style pizza, Chicago style pizza. Enough with your style, St. Louis, although Detroit style pizza is the fucking best.
St. Louis Imo's pizza gave me the worst case of the shits I've ever had in my life.
P for pterodactyl. We were in reruns. I've heard this.
Good.
So, do you know that there's Pittsburgh pizza, which I couldn't hate Pittsburgh anymore? It is, you cook the crust and then you put on cold sauce and cold cheese, and there you go. It's like a Lunchables.
Yeah. That's an uncooked Elio's.
Elio's, I like.
That's like when Elio's, but when you don't microwave it enough, or like when you don't cook it right, or it's too frozen in one spot, like it's hot and then it's frozen in the middle. That's Pittsburgh style. There's a place in like on 14th Street that does Detroit style, so they say. The interior is like
Lions, Tigers, and Squares. It's not that great.
Yeah,
Forget
it. I've never been there. Have you seen the interior? It's Axel Foley, Barry Sanders, Cecil Field. It's like it's nonsense. It's the decor is fantastic. It's what New Yorkers think Detroit is.
South Korea gives up too soon, cracking down on steroids in the Navy. Matt Ryan calls it over 28-7. Simone Biles, Untwisties, getting new names. Swiftliture, 0.6. Netflix Grammy. Trevor Bauer doesn't get his apologies. Podcasters getting canceled left and right. Robin Hood Tree, Sea Lions escape from the Central Park Zoo, and Pittsburgh Za. Who is the Pishadoo of the week? Zach Elias.
I think you opened with it. I think it's the Koreans who lose a race and you got to serve in the army. That's insane.
Yeah.
But I do love the motivation.
They do have like another chance to qualify for the World Olympics or something.
No,
but
I don't like that. But I think all things like that should have a penalty at the end. Listen, man, you don't win this thing. You're taking bullets. People will run a lot harder.
Boozer Daddy the podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode 200.
We'll see you tomorrow night. They won the series.
Very good, Zach. I didn't forget about Kilty Pleasures. I had it ready. As we sign off. Care for some
little son was,
care for some Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I do, Alan. When a baby does it, it's always funny.
We out.
Yeah,
It is always.